Happy day, Sagittarius. This is your reading for the month of May 2026. I am Macy LaShawn Sledge. For those of you who are new here, hi, hello, and welcome. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being present. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in, for receiving, and for interacting with the work. I do appreciate it very much. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the reading. I will say that as I'm looking at the spread, there is one word that's jumping out at me as I'm looking at the cards and just kind of picking up on the energy. And the word that's coming through is renewal. Okay. As we're moving throughout the month of May, we can expect to experience a sense of renewal in every aspect. Okay. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, financially, experiencing some renewal in those areas of our lives. Now, it's important for us to hear and it's important for us to remember, Sagittarius, that this renewal isn't going to just show up and appear. Okay. This sense of renewal and uh, um, our acceptance of it requires that we meet it halfway. Okay, it requires that we meet it halfway. So what that means is that it's necessary for us to do a better job in the month of May at living a life of devotion, at being devoted to the things that are truly important. Okay, letting go of the things that are distractions, letting go of the things that keep us focused on instant gratification, right? Letting go of all of that and choosing devotion so that we can experience real renewal. Forgot my word there. So that we can experience real renewal, so that we can experience renewal from the inside out, right? Because the instant gratification isn't bringing renewal, it's bringing relief in that moment, right? But then that relief is oftentimes fleeting. What we want is renewal from the inside out, okay? So we'll go ahead and get into it. The first card that we have here is the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords. And with the Ten of Swords, right, we're looking at this question of what are we being asked to release in the month of May? And the Ten of Swords is a card uh, that embodies, that speaks to surrender, that speaks to release, that speaks to letting go. Okay. And what I'm hearing that we need to let go of, okay, is this concept that we are, and I love that this is coming through, but what is it that we're needing to surrender? What is it that we're needing to let go in the month of May? In order for us to experience this renewal, in order for us to bloom and blossom in the way that we're being called to bloom and blossom, what is it that we need to release and surrender and let go of? And the Ten of Swords is coming through to say, Sagittarius, it's time for you to let go of the concepts that you have of yourself. So we know that we are human beings, right? We are human beings. We are here walking this earth. And the way that it's coming through right now is that that is a concept, right? That is a concept. In order for us to come into this space where we were needing or trying to understand ourselves, we created this concept. We created this term, human being. But through the Ten of Swords, Spirit is saying, listen, we get it. You are a human being. Right. But at the end of the day, and in reality, what's really true is that you are an embodiment of God. You are an embodiment of Source. And because you are so wrapped up in in this concept of yourself as a human being, because you allow your experiences as a human being to dominate the narrative, it keeps you in this space where it keeps you in this in living under the illusion of separation, as it keeps you in this space of believing that that abundance and prosperity and wealth and well-being is foreign or is as it keeps you in this space of thinking that you're separate from it, right? So Spirit is saying, listen, in order for you to come into this space where you experience well-being holistically, holistic well-being, right? You have to surrender this concept of yourself. You have to let go of concepts, even the concept that says, I am a human being. And give yourself permission to say that out loud. I am a human being. And when you say that out loud, notice how it feels. Notice how it feels to say that out loud. Sit with it. I am a human being. Does that resonate with what your soul knows to be true of you? You are in this body. Yes, that is true. But you are so much more. And when you stay attached to this concept of yourself, you overlook what is true. You overlook what is true. You push what is true aside. But we are wanting to ground into what is true during the month of May. Okay, spend a lot of time there. That's okay. The card that we have coming through to clarify the Ten of Swords in this message is the King of Coins. Okay, and the way that the King of Coins is coming through to clarify this is that yes, yes, when you allow yourself to simply sit in, to stand firm in the awareness that you are source, that you are God, that you are just God uh in drag as Ram Dass would say, when you allow yourself to know that, to accept that, to stand firm in that awareness, what you experience is a different kind of stability. Because now you're understanding, Sagittarius, that the wealth, the abundance, the prosperity, the well-being is rooted in who you are as source, right? Because you're under the impression, Sagittarius, that because I'm a human being, I'm supposed to work hard, I'm supposed to put forth a lot of effort, I'm supposed to do A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z in order to accumulate wealth, prosperity, abundance, in order to experience well-being. But the reality is that all of it flows from within you. All of it flows from within you. You are the source of it all. And so, what happens when you allow yourself to surrender this idea or this concept that you are simply just a measly old human being? What changes when you surrender to what is true, which is that you are the source of all that is, right? Which we have the King of Coins. So just think about the energy of a king, right? Surrendering to your sovereignty in the month of May, Sagittarius. Surrendering to your sovereignty in the month of May. The next card that we have coming through is the Temperance card. And this card is in the spot of what are we being asked to embody and integrate during the month of May? What are we being asked to embody and integrate during the month of May? And the answer here with the Temperance card is that we're being asked to embody temperance. Okay? We're being asked to embody patience. And how do we do that? Through listening, by being still and by listening. Okay? And with the Temperance card coming up, what are you being asked to embody? What are we being asked to integrate during the month of May? And we have the Temperance card coming up. And so the Temperance card speaks to being still, to surrendering, to listening within, right? Going within yourself and listening. And here's what's going to happen in May. So during the month of May, many of us Sagittarius are going to get clear, okay, are going to get clear on who it is that we are. Now, in the past, whenever we would become aware, okay, in the past, whenever we would become aware, we had a tendency to over intellectualize. And then because we would over intellectualize, we would start pushing and forcing and trying to make things happen on our own, right? But now that we understand or have this understanding that we are source and that all things flow from within us, we don't have to rush, right? We don't have to rush. We can go within ourselves and listen to that guidance. We can go within ourselves and listen to that wisdom and allow that to guide our lives, right? We can go within ourselves and allow that to propel us forward as we listen instead of rushing and trying to force, because we know that no matter where we are at this particular moment in time, we're going to experience well-being, abundance, prosperity, wealth, because it is flowing from within us right now. Because it is flowing from within us right now. The card that we have coming through to clarify the Temperance card's message is the King of Wands. Okay. And the King of Wands represents just infinite possibilities, right? And more so inspired possibilities. So with the Temperance card, right, there's this call to go within ourselves, to be still, to listen, okay, to listen from within. Meaning, don't listen to what's going on up here. Because if you listen to what's going on up here, then you're going to act impulsively. But when you go within yourself and you listen from within your heart, from within your soul, then you're able to receive, then you're able to see clearly, then you're able to receive with clarity a visual of what's possible. And then you'll know how you should attack what's possible, how you should, what steps you should take next. Because now you're listening, you're surrendering to your soul's, to the will of your soul, right? And you're listening from the inside out. Again, you're not allowing these thoughts to control you. You're allowing the voice of your heart, the voice of your soul, the voice of God, which is your own voice, to lead and guide you, right? So listening from within is how you'll be able to know what these next steps are. It's how you'll connect with what is possible. Because right now, Sagittarius, again, you're in this space, or you have been in this space where you're just trying to force everything, right? You're just trying to force things into motion, into play. But the call is that, and the reminder is that when you are standing firm in your awareness that you are source, you live a more inspired life. You take more inspired steps and actions, not rushing, not forcing, moving and stepping and acting whenever you hear the call coming from within. And you can only hear the call coming from within when you surrender, when you allow yourself when you devote yourself to that voice, to your inner being. Okay, the last question that we have is, what can we expect to experience and receive in the month of May? And the first card that we have coming through is the Nine of Swords. And the first thing that's coming through that we can expect to receive and experience is clarity. Okay, we can expect to receive some clarity. So with the Nine of Swords, what I'm hearing is that there are these illusions, Sagittarius, that you've been holding on to about who you are, about your identity. And you've done the work to let those go. You've done the work to let those illusions go. And you've been seeing who it is that you've been seeing the truth. You've been seeing the truth around your identity, okay? But you've also been projecting certain narratives, certain thoughts about what might happen if you decide to stand firm in this awareness, if you decide to stand firm in your awareness. So that's what the Nine of Swords is speaking to. The Nine of Swords is saying you've been blinded by this fear that you've allowed the thoughts to create in your mind, right? These thoughts that you've been projecting out onto the future about what might happen when I stand firm in the awareness of who I am, right? How might the people around me change or start to see me differently? And so you've been coming up with all these scenarios and with all these thoughts and with all these stories. And they've allowed you to, they've caused you to feel stuck, like you can't move forward. Because if I move forward in my awareness, I'm going to have to leave people behind, or I'm going to be left behind, right? And so that's the reason why you've struggled to really stand firm in your sovereignty. This is the reason why you've really struggled with surrendering to your sovereignty, because you've been holding on to these to this fear that really it's all illusions. It's all illusions because they're just thoughts that you've cultivated, thoughts that you've sat with and pondered for way too long, thoughts that you've allowed to control your inner conversation. And so that's, what else are you surrendering during the month of May? You're surrendering those thoughts. You're surrendering the thoughts that you've been projecting on the people around you. Okay. Thinking, saying to yourself that, oh, if I stand firm in this awareness, this is how people are going to treat me. And it's possible, but why are you making that your business right now? Because you're making it your business right now, you're experiencing stagnation. You're experiencing the melancholy. You're experiencing the feeling of being stuck because you're making that your business right now when you haven't even started down the path, right? And once you start down the path, you'll be so enamored, you'll be so present with what's unfolding that you don't have time to make it your business. Okay. And we have the Empress coming through to clarify the Nine of Swords message, which is that whenever you let go of these illusions and of these thoughts that you've been projecting, you become more available to experiencing um, and to creating, to allowing abundance to be expressed through you and to be created through you in new ways, in ways that are harmonious with the will of your soul, in ways that reflect the will of your heart, right? So this is what you're experiencing, will be experiencing more of as the month of May closes out, and as you move on into June and July, you'll be experiencing an abundance of again that word coming through, renewal. You may even find yourself creating more, right? The Empress is all about uh standing like standing firm in her awareness, knowing who she is, and knowing that whenever stays devoted, whenever she chooses to devote herself to the awareness of who she is, and she stands firm in that, she knows that it's that is the foundation for the creative abundance coming to life through her. She also knows, Sagittarius, that when she stands firm in the truth, there's not much effort that she has to put forth in order to experience the creative abundance. She doesn't have to work 40, 80 hours a week. She doesn't have to overexert herself. She just has to allow herself to be. She just has to allow herself to be. Okay. And so, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? You just need to allow yourself to be. Let go of the thoughts that you've been projecting, the thoughts that keep you, that hinder you from allowing yourself to be, because you're so worried about what people might say, about what people might think, about how people might fall off and fall away. You don't know because you're not even there yet. Your mind is there. And because your mind is there, it stops you from moving forward. It stops you from taking that step forward onto the path that's before you, calling to you, inviting you to step onto it. So we're going to look at past, present, and future. And the card that we have in the spot for the past is the moon. Okay, we have the moon, and the moon speaks to us stepping into the darkness, not being afraid to face the shadows, not being afraid to go into the darkness and to look at what it is that is hindering us from standing firm in our awareness, right? What is it that is hindering us from standing firm in our awareness? So, something that I'm feeling, something that I'm hearing that will be very relevant during the month of May, Sagittarius, is this having this conversation with ourselves around our identity. And again, we've been doing the work to really come back home to our true identity, to really reconnect with um, our true identity, with who it is that we really are. And so, as you're moving through the month of May, with the moon card being, oh, with the moon card being in the spot for the past, Sagittarius, the message that's coming through is that the shadow work is over. The shadow work is coming to a close. Now, that's the way that it's coming through. The shadow work is coming to a close. You have arrived. You have arrived. Okay. Here, that will there still be work to do? Of course. But the moon card is coming through to say that Sagittarius, you have been in the darkness long enough. You have been in the darkness long enough. It's time to let it go. That's been your place of that's been your comfort. The darkness has been your comfort, Sagittarius. But the moon is coming through to say, listen, you stepped in it boldly. You were brave enough to step. So people do not go into the darkness, but you do it so well, so valiantly, Sagittarius. You are so brave, so bold, so curious about the darkness and what it holds and what it wants to teach you. And you've been there long enough. You've been there long enough. The shadow work is over. The shadow work is over. You have stepped into the shadows. You have stepped into the darkness. You've sat with them. You've befriended them. You've allowed them to teach you. And so that phase of your life is coming to a close. Okay, that phase of your life is coming to a close. And we have the Ace of Swords coming through to represent the present moment. Okay, so when we look at the Ace of Swords in the spot for the present moment, what we're looking at, Sagittarius, and what I'm hearing, what's coming through is that you have to accept that you are clear. You have to accept that you are clear, that it has been made clear to you, that you understand, that you have an awareness. Okay. Part of the reason why, again, why you don't want to accept that you're clear is because you're afraid of what you might have to let go of. You're afraid of what you might have to give up. You're afraid of what you might have to leave behind. But Sagittarius, know that you're only leaving it behind because you are a leader. And in order for you to lead, in order for people to be able to witness you as the leader, you have to leave it behind. You have to leave it behind. You have to stand firm in your awareness. Because again, listen, we have the King of Coins, we have the King of Wands. You are sovereign. And when you surrender to your sovereignty, you serve as a witness for others, Sagittarius. You serve, and that is why you are a leader, because you are serving as a witness to other people. That is the task. You don't have to do much. You don't have to convince people. You don't have to convince people. You don't have to try to talk people into it. You just have to stand firm in your awareness. You just have to surrender to your sovereignty. Okay. So if you are not clear right now, Sagittarius, the month of May will bring the clarity that you need. Your willingness to be devoted, to go within, to practice temperance, to practice patience, to practice listening, that is what will bring about the clarity. And that is what will help you see, realize, understand, remember that you are one of one, Sagittarius. You are one of one. And a lot of what's changing, a lot of what's unfolding is because you were willing, again, to go into the shadows, to face them, to look at them, to let them teach you, and to rewrite the story. And what follows? What follows? What inevitably follows? what inevitably follows? The sun in the future, right? The sun is in the future spot. What inevitably follows is just pure delight, pure bliss, pure joy, peace, 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 and so much of it flowing from within you. And the reason why, Sagittarius, you get to experience this is because you allowed yourself, again, to go into the shadows, to do the work, to pull up the roots, to plant the new seeds. And you did all of that because you didn't know where it was going to lead you to. You knew what you wanted. You knew that this is what you wanted. You knew that this is what you wanted. You didn't really know where it was all going to lead you. You didn't know how it was all going to unfold. You didn't know when it was going to all unfold, but you knew you saw it, you felt it, you trusted it, and that was the key. That was the key. You devoted yourself to trusting what you were being shown from within yourself. You devoted yourself to your faith, and you allowed that to carry you into this moment that you're stepping into now. So, what it is that you felt you wanted more peace, bliss, joy, harmony within yourself and in the outer world. And you are experiencing that. You are receiving that. That is here with you now. And you have felt that it was here with you in the present moment as you've been doing the work. You've been catching glimpses of it. You've been grounding into it. There are some moments when you became distracted and you forgot, but more and more, right? You would be distracted for months at a time. Then it became maybe 1 month at a time, then a couple of days at a time. And now here you are. You might only be distracted for about 30 minutes to an hour, but then you're right back here, surrendered, knowing, trusting, having faith, and you deserve to be here, Sagittarius. So that is the reading for the month of May, Sagittarius. I appreciate you so much for being here. I definitely appreciate the support. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I want to encourage you to go ahead and do that. If you have any thoughts around the reading, definitely let me know what they are in the comments. I love whenever y'all interact and I'm able to have a little bit of conversation, okay? I do want to let you know that I have a tarot special going on right now. It is a 3-card tarot pull for $33. And as we are moving into the month of May, those readings will focus on what it is that you need to let go of, what it is that you need to embody and integrate as you are shifting into the new month. Okay, so that will be a more personalized reading, and you can use the link in the description underneath this video to sign up for that. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy what's unfolding because you deserve it.